College and Career Success. Welcome to week 3 of the semester. So we are inching toward that halfway point already of our summer term. So I'm going to hop into this week 3 folder right here. Again, the week 3 videos are going to be right above it. So please make sure you check out the lecture video and then your assignment video and your career services video. Everything for week 3 will be right there to help you guide through this week. So let's take a peek and see what you're doing. So week 3 is a little different in terms of you're still going to have a chapter, but you only have one chapter. You're not going to have 2 chapters to go over like you did in the previous week. You're going to have chapter 4. So make sure you check out the lecture video for chapter 4. This video right now is just going to focus on the chapter 4 assignments, but I do want to point out you also have a career services assignment. So this video right now is just going to focus on these 3 things, but then come back, you can see there's already a place for it. There's chapter 4 assignment and then the career services assignment. That will be its own separate video. So you will, as usual, have a discussion forum post due by Wednesday. This week you only have 1 discussion board post. So due Wednesday for week 3 attendance, respond to 2 classmates by Sunday. You have a chapter 4 assignment, which, yes, technically it's not due till Sunday. However, you're using it to complete your discussion forum. So you'll see that I'm recommending you need to do it by Wednesday to be able to get your attendance points and to get that forum post cranked out. And then you have your chapter 4 quiz, and then you'll also have this career services assignment due Sunday as well. So here is a snapshot of your assignments. So let's go ahead and jump in. Of course, you have your materials folder. Please make sure you check that out to get the link to the slides, the chapter, anything that you might need there. And I'm going to go ahead though and just focus on the assignment folder and open up the chapter 4 discussion. So here is your prompt for chapter 4. Again, post by Wednesday for week 3 attendance and respond to 2 classmates by Sunday. I've had just a few people forgetting to respond to classmates. So make sure that once you post your original response, you come back in and you respond to 2 classmates. All right, so here is your prompt. Recall a decision that you have made recently. So it could be a small decision, like how to spend your weekend, or maybe a larger decision like where to work, what major, where to go to school. Did the values you identified through the determining your values activity in 4.1 influence that decision? If so, how? So that automatically tells you like, hey, you need to do this first. So if we go back here, I'm going to go ahead and pull that up. That's its own separate assignment, but it connects to the discussion board. So it's going to open up to right here. It's a PDF, and it's going to have a list of values. Obviously, this is not every value ever. This is a kind of condensed list. This is a really simple, straightforward assignment. So you're going to take this list, and down here underneath, you're going to put your top 5 values. And this is speaking specifically as kind of as you're thinking about your careers, like what's important to you in your career. Now, oftentimes there's an overlap. So if you have kind of personal values and career values, a lot of times those overlap anyway. But you want to think about your values and how important they are. So let's say, I don't know, I'm just going to kind of randomly pick a couple just to put down here. Fairness, happiness, success, whatever it might be, whatever you're writing, you're going to put your top 5, and then you're going to rank them in importance. Now, sometimes people automatically put them like, this is my top 2, 3, and so on. Or maybe you just randomly put them over here. And so you'll find like, oh, this one down here was actually my first. This one is important, but it's not the most important. It doesn't matter how you do that. You can rank them in order, or then you can go back and kind of put the rank here, even if they're not in the top rank right here. When you're done, make sure that you save it with your changes so that I'm not getting just a blank document. And then, like you've been doing for the past couple other assignments, you will have that Dropbox area to go ahead and Dropbox so I can grade that. So once you've completed and submitted that, you can then have a better, sorry, too much things up here. You can have a better idea of how to respond to this forum post. So let's say you did talk about, fairness or happiness in your activity, like how did those play a role in your decision making? So again, choose a type of value, or a decision that you're trying to make. Again, it could be small, like, where to go to eat. I know that's a very small example, but what am I going to do this weekend? Am I going to study? Am I going to go out with friends? Am I going to look for an additional part-time job? Whatever it might be. Could be big decisions like going to school, career choices, big personal decisions, whatever you're comfortable thinking about, and how those values play a role inside your decision-making process. And how. how and why, and kind of walk us through that. So again, remember your post needs to be about 150 words. The first week I did have people kind of hovering between like 70 and 100 words, and I didn't take off a lot of points quite yet because I know it's your first post. But remember, as we're getting further in the semester, we need to stick around that 150 words. And then respond to 2 classmates by Sunday. All right, your other assignment is your chapter 4 quiz. It's going to open up into a Word doc. And again, I want to just emphasize, please make sure you're answering every part of each question and you're responding in 2 to 5 complete sentences. So if you start to see points taken off, it's because maybe you missed a question, you didn't completely answer in 2 to 5 sentences. So make sure that you're thoroughly doing each of these. So let's walk through these questions. Number 1. Over time, most people experience changes in their values. So think about your life and one value that you hold now that was not as important when you were younger. Why do you think this value importance has changed? So sometimes people think about like independence or financial stability, whatever it might be. Maybe it wasn't important when they were younger. It has grown to be more important as you have aged. So think about how those values have changed and maybe why. Question 2. Considering you want to learn as much as possible about your career, how would you design your plan for maximizing those experiences? What opportunities would you consider in addition to your classes? So we're not talking about the classes that you're taking. So it's not like, oh, I'm going to take more classes. Nope, that's a given. You have to take those. So what else could you do? Could you maybe join a club or an organization? Could you get an internship? Could you job shadow? Could you volunteer or get a part-time job? Anything like that. So how would each of those assist you in preparing for your future? Can you talk to career services? Can you use different resources on campus? So lots of different things. And I always like to point students out to our homepage. And again, info for current students to kind of see if there's anything in there that kind of strikes, you're thinking about that. Question 3, this is like a little scenario. Vlad is having difficulty deciding on his major. He's talked to some people, but he's still having a hard time narrowing it down. And he's come to you. What advice can you give Vlad? What would you tell him to be able to choose a major appropriately? Number 4, compare and contrast advisors versus mentors. And 5, another like a situation. The student has been taking 12 to 14 credit hours a semester, but she doesn't even know what classes count toward her degree. What advice would you give her? So when you're done with that, make sure you save that and upload that as well into your Dropbox area. So real quick recap, just for this video, please make sure that you fill out the values activity where you are ranking and thinking about your values. Post your original response to your Chapter 4 discussion prompt by Wednesday, respond to 2 classmates by Sunday, and then get that Chapter 4 quiz in by Sunday as well. Come back and check out the career services specific video next. Thanks.